I got no idea, girl.
Yeah, that was it for me. All 52 pages.
True, I guess, but rolls my eyes.
Yeah. But when her power isn't full, you have to use a cane or maybe even actually a wheelchair.
Well, I'm Abby.
And I'm Tori.
And today we're doing a book review of Tower of Dawn. I don't even know if we can call this episode a book review.
Yeah.
Because I haven't told Tori yet how far I made it in the book, so she's going to find out with you guys. I made it to 51 pages.
Here, I thought you were maybe like halfway done. Oh, I only have like 3 more chapters left.
1. It's been a month. I can normally read one of these books in a week, but this has been really hard to read.
Well, and honestly, I made it like 10 pages before I said I'll just look it up.
I made it to 13 pages, and then I was like, you know what? I'd rather go wash dishes. I went and I washed dishes, then continue reading.
I feel like once you get into it, it's not that bad. I've already read it, so I know what happens. And then I was like, I don't want to push through it.
I don't know. Okay.
A lot of important stuff happens in here, though.
You're the only reason why I'm reading this. You're the only reason. Or else I would have smart note this stuff. Because I think I even saw online someone said I could skip this. And I was like...
I mean, I'm sure if you actually just look up what happens, it'll be fine.
I'm not gonna... I feel like it ruins the integrity of this podcast. So it's you and them. You're the reason why I'm actually gonna finish this.
I probably should reread it, too.
I will say, so far I can't rate the book. Because I only read 52 pages and that's not fair to her. I will say I don't think this was a good decision of hers to make an entire book based on these characters that I frankly do not care about.
I like Nesrin.
I don't care about them as of right now. Maybe when I get to the end. But I will say I was reading Nesrin's point of view at the beginning and she's like, oh my god, it's so good to be home. Oh my god. And I'm like, I don't care. But then they made one mention of the coven, of the Black Beak coven, and I was like, oh my god, I got feelings. One mention. So yeah, I just don't have any emotional connection to these characters, and so that's why it's been so hard to read this book. That's really why. Alright, so I'll have the...
I will say that because this one is more plot driven. I think this book is maybe to catch up on some plot points, whereas the other books is a very good combination of character driven and plot driven.
Okay.
So because you don't relate to these characters, yeah, you don't really care.
I don't really care.
Because now it's just going to be like setting up the plot.
Maybe, because remember we had this conversation before about if we were plot driven or character driven. You said you were more character driven, and I thought I was more plot driven.
This proved you wrong.
I mean,
I was saying both. Like, I don't think I can get through a book that's just plot, and I can't get through. Actually, no, I could probably get through a book that's all character.
All character? Okay,
Maybe.
so maybe I'm both. I don't think I could. I think I'd be like, okay, where's this going? What are we doing?
Actually, no.
What's
I would need some plot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
Half
it
an hour.
needs to have both. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the part that I did like was the shock value of when they were talking about the Kagan. Did I pronounce that right? Kagan. When they were talking about like some of their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Part that I found interesting was when they said that she took the time to describe I think Duva? Anyways, one of the daughter.
Yeah.
About how she was pregnant and her dress was flowing in the wind and how they set up this like whole arranged marriage to secure whatever as it usually goes, and then they're just like, oh, but yeah, her kids might die because if she doesn't gain the throne and someone else gains the throne, they're gonna kill her children. And I was like, and then it was a question
Very Game of Thrones-esque.
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So now, and then I like that they were like, will she kill her children? Like, not will she love her children or just not care? And I'm like, that's an option? Okay. This is what y'all are getting this week. We're fighting for our lives. Then I also liked the backstory of how the Kagan, however you want to pronounce it, got his was put on the throne, and it was the whole he fought his brother for 6 hours. I'm like, y'all gonna get tired. 6 hours is a long time. Y'all must be fit. So I like it. The two would-be ears that fought for 6 hours, and I thought that was cool. And then I like that they painted him, a bit cliche, but you can't get away from cliche stuff. They painted him as like the good king, like, because based on his backstory, he was willing to save his brother when his brother got like skewered by something, a spike or something, I don't know. And then he was just like, he put down his sword and his brother tried to kill him, and it was just like,
I had no choice, yeah.
yeah, so he stabbed him. So it's like, cool. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. I guess that makes you a good king. I don't know. Do you remember?
I do, but like not super in detail.
Cool. Then the last thing that I liked in here, in the 52 pages that I made it through, that's how I fell asleep.
Put you to sleep.
Remember, like, oh, so today I was supposed to come here. It takes an hour.
So you were reading those pages now?
I started yesterday. Actually, no, I've started a couple times and I just keep putting them down. I just can't. And so I was like, enough is enough. We're gonna read. So I was like, I started at 9 and I'm like, we went to law school. I can read a bunch of pages in no time.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I fell asleep. And it was damn good sleep. It was so good. I fell asleep in the couch and I was like, all right, well, 52 pages it is. Anyways, so it was when I found it interesting how she called a character Dusty as well. I was like, oh,
Dusty?
yeah, she called a character Dusty. Literal dust, but it was kind of cool. She was like, the day you walked into this room so terribly thin and covered with dust of 100 roads. I'm like, he called that girl Dusty. Do you know who that was? It was the third point of view voice.
Nesrin?
Not Nesrin.
Oh, Irene?
Irene, yeah.
Yeah, it's Irene, yeah.
Yeah. Her point of view.
Oh, yeah, because she doesn't like him.
Oh, no. We haven't gotten there yet. I know she doesn't like him. No, her, like, so her mentor was talking about what it was like the day that she showed up.
Okay, like the head healer of the tower or whatever.
You know, I almost had a panic attack. I don't remember hitting play on this recording.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it died.
Oh. Yeah, so she was describing the day that Irene showed up to her office or whatever.
And so you were filthy.
Yeah, she was like, you were dusty. Dust of 100 roads. You know how dirty you got?
Yeah, not even like 1 road, 10 roads, 100 roads.
Yeah. Yeah, that was as far as I made it to, and then I fell asleep. And my boyfriend tried to wake me up a couple times. He's like, baby, you gotta read. And I'm like, yeah. But I will. If I can read a bunch of boring case law from law school,
you can do
I
it.
can read this.
Like I said, it'll be important later on.
This is giving me flashbacks to the first book. And you were right then, I guess. Moral of the story is this is an authentic review, guys. It's a tough read. It's a tough read. And you're going to have to suck it up like how I'll have to do it and read it. But according to Tori, it is important. Yeah, that was it. Those are my thoughts.
I didn't even say anything.
She was gonna spark notes it. You know what? I have a game then. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Okay. And this is an impromptu game. It's the who said it game.
Can you even ask? I guess from from
52 pages. From 52 pages, I got this. Who said I suppose we should deem it an honor? It's gonna be hard because you have no context. There's not many characters to pick from.
Kale?
Who?
Kale? Cal?
No.
Then the Kagan people, somebody from the land there?
Yeah, who?
The prince?
No.
I got no idea, girl.
I'll give you another clue. I will assume you are here to woo me into joining this war of yours.
The Kagan!
Oh. I thought you said one of the Kagan people. I didn't think you actually said the Kagan.
I think I did say one of the... But yeah, the Kagan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Kagan.
Kagan. Damn, I miss Dorian. There ain't no great
True.
quotes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even say great quotes anymore. He's been scarred. But I think you should like some truth from me. Kale? No.
I don't
Is
know.
there-
Nesrin?
No.
Irene?
No.
Not anybody else.
Kagan.
I guess.
Kagan. Yes. Maybe he's gonna be the
He's the one who's going to be spitting some lines
yeah,
here.
he's spitting the good lyrics. Okay, me. Everybody, I will say, everybody hates Aelin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what they know, she's just
Assassin, killer.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but-
she's got a mouth on her too,
She
so
does.
and an attitude. So
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I just
if
have
you don't
a
really know
bias.
her, I mean, because we obviously get to read from her point of view and like into her mind and stuff. But if you didn't, I mean, this.
Is this the same thing? It's not the same thing as the summary at the back.
Yes,
Is it?
but they haven't been putting summaries. See now on the back it's just
Oh, then yeah, I
like
read
praise
it.
for the book.
I read it.
Oh look, got it at a bargain price, $4.97.
You know how much I paid for this? $12.
12.
Yeah. I think it was 12. I didn't physically buy it. I sent my boyfriend to go buy it. He said, he hasn't even read this. He said that the girl at the checkout, because he went to Barnes and Noble, said that this is like a filler book.
No, well, yes and no. Like I said, there is still some stuff that's important later on.
I'm just saying that this seems like it's the universal thought
Yeah,
of it's just filler book.
just everybody in the fandom agrees. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I did find it interesting when Kashin showed up in
Who?
Kashin, the
Or is
prince.
that the prince?
Yeah, it's the prince. He showed up in Kale's thing. I thought he was gonna murder him or something, or try to kill him or mock him, but he just turned out to be nice. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, dude. Yeah, that was it for me. All 52 pages reviewed. Okay, any questions? Yeah, all right, cool. That's the time of episode, you guys.
See you next week.
We'll be reviewing Tower of Dawn for the second
Second
time.
Possibly the last.
Hopefully. I made a promise last week, guys, and I broke it. I'm sorry. A little bit sorry. I did not finish the book. I made it halfway. It was the best I could do. It was very hard to read. Sorry, how far did you get? Let them know.
There has been no change whatsoever. When we first moved on to this book, I opened it up. I maybe read the first 5 pages, and I said, nah.
You said no.
I said, nah, I'm done with this one. I'll look it up. I'll spark notes it. But I haven't even done that.
Yeah.
I remember. I'll give your, like, what, your thoughts, whatever, and then I'll just give a little recap. What I remember. And
I'm going to tell you all something Tori doesn't know. So yesterday evening, Tori messaged me and she said, so we're still meeting to record, right?
Yeah.
And I was so close to me, girl. I didn't pick up this book at all.
I wouldn't have been mad, though. I wouldn't have been mad. If you had said no, I would have been like, okay, bet, I'll sleep.
I didn't want to disappoint you, and I didn't.
It's okay.
I feel like this book has just thrown us for a loop.
Yes.
We've been procrastinating too much. So what I did was I stayed up all night. Part of the night. I had to also take my hair out. But I stayed up and I read from page 50 to page 300 because I was like, I'm going to at least make it to half of this book before I record. So
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Which is why I have no notes. We have to use the source. Okay, all right. So I'll get into what I did like, which are the pink tabs. So I'll go for them. Oh, I mentioned that last time. The whole...
I think you got up to page like 50,
Yeah.
55 last time.
Let me go there. Oh, okay. I won't start with what I did like. I'll start with some of the things that I laughed about with Kill.
Okay.
Which was where every time Kale was in this new land, what's the name of the land again?
Where the Torre is, where the tower is. I remember it's called the Torre Sesame, and it's the Kagan.
Okay.
I like Kagan.
Kagan.
It's like, and he's the emperor.
Yes, he's the emperor, but I can't remember the name of the land. Well, he's in this land. And
Antarctica. No, that's a city. The southern continent. I think it's just called the southern continent.
yeah, you're right then, yeah. Well, he's in the southern continent. And he keeps bringing up about how, like he's challenging these people. So like one of the princes was eyeing him, and he's like, "Oh, he's dealt with a lot of them in his day as captain, and he gotten them all to heed." And I'm like,
This man's ego.
exactly. He's ego. I'm like, "Hell, come on. You weren't that good of a captain. I'm sorry, it just didn't work." But he did it a couple times, and each time I laughed. I literally wrote, "Roll my eyes," for every time Kale talks about his time as captain, like he was any good.
It's like one of those I can't let go of the past. Like always, like in my days.
Yeah. In my day, I used to walk to school barefooted.
Yes, he's one of those.
For 8 miles.
In the pouring rain.
Right? In the pouring rain. And I had to carry 6 bags on my back, all filled with yam to go sell at the market in order to get money to go to school. Let me stop. Okay. That escalated. Okay. I did like. Oh, actually, I say one more. Oh, this is also when he said it again. When he was talking about his time as captain and training people and how good he was, and I literally just wrote, "Oh, I'm lying to you. Hold on."
Like one of those people who peaked in high school.
Yeah, he is. Who is he talking to here? It was Irene. Yes, you're right. It was her. I guess this was from her point of view. I thought it was from his. But it was basically him trying to force her to drink some tea. And then I guess the whole comment was that he was a man used to being obeyed, a man inclined to care for others and driven by a compulsion that he couldn't train out of them to help them or whatever. And I literally
just made a face when you said that because I was like, a man who helps others? Like, is he really?
I literally put true, I guess, but rolls my eyes. Yeah. Because he does help Dorian.
Yeah, but that's why it's very selective. Like, either you're my friend or not really. Like, I guess, like, he does kind of have, like, that sense of, like, noble, like, I need to help people. But I feel like it's a very general sense.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not this extra caring man.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you had the same reaction I had.
I was just like,
okay, buddy.
Really?
Are we really talking about?
It's like, are we talking about the same person? Like, have you seen the like TikTok where people are like somebody at somebody's funeral and they're like, he was like the nicest person, and like it pans to like the people's friends like, and it's like he never raised his voice, and the people are like,
it was very demure.
And it's like, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but they go on and on to like praising this person, and like everybody like in the audience is like, are we at the right funeral? Yeah. Like that was not that person at all.
Yeah, but that is true. Yeah. But isn't that what people do anyways too in real life?
Yeah, I mean it's easy to romanticize people after they're dead.
Anyways, then I have. Oh, she was talking. So this was Irene. Actually, I have to say 2 things here. For this to work. So basically, it was when. Actually, no, one thing. It was when Irene was talking about how she was gonna leave. And she was just like leave to go on an adventure for herself, and she was just like she owed herself that much, and she owed it to Kale as well. And I was like, "Girl, you ain't owe Kale."
What does she? Yeah, I was just like, what does she owe him?
Literally wrote, no, you don't. You don't owe Kale anything. Like why? I don't know how to handle books apparently. I was like, why? You're not. No, yeah. He, as she literally pointed out, she was his like consolation prize. His placeholder. When he dated, when things didn't work out with the first girl, she was there. When things didn't work out with Aileen.
Well, but he just met Irene.
No. Sorry, no, not Irene. Nesrin. I said the wrong name. Nesrin was just like.
Oh, okay. Yes, this makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you don't owe him anything.
Yeah.
Go on this adventure. He was literally flirting with this girl in the palace in front of your face. Don't be a third placeholder. Yeah. You don't owe him nothing.
Yeah.
That was my thought there. Okay, what else? Things I liked. this was Kale acknowledging his shortcomings. I was just like, is this growth? Will this be growth? It was when he was talking about how he acknowledged that. He was talking about how in Rifthold he would be able to tell if someone was lying. And then he went, even though that sense failed him a couple times with Aelin, with I can't remember who else he said. But he said it failed him a couple times with people. And I'm like, yeah, it did. You're not a good captain of the guard. Do you remember that part?
Vaguely.
Okay. This part I liked. It was great imagery and foreshadowing. Of what? Oh, it was when the Prince Sartak.
I remember he's the one who flies on the rooks, I think.
Yeah, he is. He took Nezrin on it and was just like, he took the beast near the water, and the beast like grabbed this big monster from the sea and ate it like it was nothing. And then he gave her a warning, and he was just like, there's beauty in my father's lands, but there's also much lurking beneath the surface too. And I just thought it was like this beautiful line, coupled with that wonderful imagery that, yeah, girl, you better be careful. There are things out there. Everybody's not as nice as they seem. I feel like it's some foreshadowing for what is gonna come that I haven't seen yet.
I'll get into that. I think I should just give a recap once you're done.
Yeah, that was probably the best. Then, another said this. I loved the scene because it made me cackle. It was when Ko gave away Aven's location.
Oh yeah, he's like, she would never be at Pirates Bay or whatever it's called. Like, that's the last place she'd go. And then next thing you know, oh, she's there. And he's like, oh shit.
Oh, I didn't. It says that, it ends up saying that in this book.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Well, I guess he finds out. Yeah. Well, yeah, he didn't know. I'm at the point where he says it.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah, because that's an Empire Storm. She is there with Dorian and all of them, and she announced it. Remember, there's like that big like battle out in the waters.
Yeah.
And then like the Mycenaean people come back. Yeah. Everybody finds out about it. Yeah, so he ends up being right.
He ends up, I was like, wow. Even in trying to mislead them, you lead them right to her.
Yeah.
Typical KO.
But that's fine. Like, it works out for them. Yeah. So
it was funny to me though. Then that leads us to some lines that I liked. It was when, I actually just mentioned it, but I just love the sentence where Nezrin realizes that she's just a placeholder, and she was just like, she had been a replacement for not one, but two women in his life. And a third one, she was fine with it. She repeated. Obviously, she's not fine with it.
Who was the second one?
Aelin.
Yeah, but then who's the second one? He's like, she said a placeholder for not one, but two women. So who's the second one?
The first one was the girl Kale dated before Aelin even came.
Oh, okay.
And then...
Right, and that's when they first got together. Yeah. And then he got together with Aelin, and then he got back together with her.
And then now he's trying to get together with Irene, and then he won't.
Yes. It's okay. It works out for her.
I can tell, but I will tell you my predictions, I guess. Oh, I like the Bast cats. Forgot to say that. In the library.
Oh, okay.
I haven't found out much about what they do yet, but I do feel like they're there to guard against
like the Valg.
The Valg. I think that's why they were placed there. Maybe by some god or something. And then
what's the blue?
Oh, the blue was when I thought I was onto something. And then I was not. I wrote confidently, this was the moment I knew that the Valg killed the healers because they can reclaim people from their possession. And I completely forgot that the reason the healers had been killed was because the king had killed them to prevent them from being taken by the Valg. So the Valg wouldn't take the magic wielders. Yeah. So I forgot that's why. And I was just like, oh, that's why they were killing all of the healers, because she's taken the all right, let me back up. Explain my thought process. So basically, I read the scene where Irene is taking out the remnants of the Valg demon out of Kale's wound, and I'm like, oh shit. That means healers could probably take the demons out of people. And then I came to the conclusion that that's why they were killing all the healers in the beginning of the book, but that wasn't why. So I literally wrote it confidently. I was about to come here and pronounce it to you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You are right, though.
What?
That's why I'm really confused as to why you don't think you're right. Like, that's exactly the reason.
This is why I didn't think I was right. Because, oh my God, you know what, Sarah J. Maas? I wrote it, but then page 298, right?
Mm-hmm.
She explains why the healers were killed, which is that they were executed. All the magic wielders were put to death by the king.
That is true. But specifically the healers, because they have the power to remove the Valg from people.
I didn't.
That's why I said this book is also important and why Irene is important to the story later.
This is why you should stick to your guts, people. I was right. And then I second guessed myself. Okay. Well, okay, that explains why you look so confused when I was saying it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, do I say something now? No, like, where's she gonna go with this?
I'm glad you said it. Well, I realized after I was about 200 pages in, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it makes so much sense now. Oh, this was a sentence I liked in her writing, where she said he wished he'd been able to walk so she could see him crawl toward her. And I just liked,
That's cute.
Right? The juxtaposition of that sentence. I was like, oh, I don't know if that was the right English.
I feel like she stole that though. I feel like from there's another book called Six of Crows, and it's a very famous line from it where he says, or like the male main character says to like his romantic interest, and he's like, and if I couldn't walk to you, I would crawl to you because that's what we do. Like I always like knives drawn, pistols blazing, we find our way back to each other, something like that. But it's very famous that, and if I couldn't walk, I'd crawl to you. Line. I don't know which one came first, but it just reminds me of that.
Well, as for Tori, I'm taking back your credit that I gave you.
No, people in the comments might come for and be like, no, Sarah J. Maas wrote it first. But I don't know. But I was just saying it just reminds me of that one. I feel like she's more famous for that line, Leigh Bardugo.
It's a beautiful line. Okay, the other things that I wrote down here that I liked, I was too lazy to highlight them because of how it was positioned when I was reading it, was how the scene where Irene was fleeing from the library, I loved how it was written. It actually pulled me into the book, like a little bit. I was like, okay, there we are. Finally, something exciting. When she was being chased by the whatever, still don't know who it is yet in the library. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is how Kale's, I like that with Kale's wounds, it wasn't just a physical wound. That she made it more than that. That it was also emotional, and that it also
psychosomatic.
Yeah, and that there's still remnants of a bug feeding on him. I was like, that's cool. And I think that was everything except for my predictions, which I'm going to tell you.
Let's hear them.
Which I wish I had written down. So one of them is already out, which is where I thought the whole healing thing, and then take it back, the healer theory. But the second thing is I do not trust Rasheen.
That's one of the princes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kashin.
Right, yes.
I don't trust Kashin. He's the one who first approached Kale saying that he thinks that his sister was murdered. I don't like how possessive he is over Irene. I don't trust him, and I feel like
right, that's the one who has a crush on her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I feel like he is the one who's actually the corrupt one. And there's another reason for me thinking this. It's where everybody dismisses him as being the heir, the chosen heir. And then the favorite of the sons says that no, it's most likely going to be him who's going to be heir because he obeys everything her dad says without question.
That Kashin obeys everything that the dad says without question.
So I don't trust him. I feel like he's kind of sinister in this, and he's going to play some part in assisting the Valgs. The other prediction that I have is that the mom is inhabited by something. It's not just grief. I don't buy that. There's more than that going on here, which is for why she's been like withdrawn to herself. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, while Tori is catching up on some Spark Notes. I'm gonna kind of debrief you guys on what just happened. So we just had some technical issues again. It cut off. A whole chunk of recording is missing. So we're really just gonna skip. Some of my predictions might not be included in this clip, and it is what it is. We're just gonna skip to where Tori is gonna summarize what happened in the book. She's gonna redo it. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys want to click off, now's the time to extra click off because the ending is gonna happen.
Okay.
All right. What is yours?
Okay, recap. Very basically, okay, I'm just going to give an overall summary and then I'll get into some of the details. Kale's in the southern continent trying to get healed, trying to get allies. Irene is there. She's a healer. Nesrin went with Kale because they're in a relationship. Irene and Kale end up getting married. Nesrin gets engaged to the crown prince, who gets chosen to be the heir, so she's going to be empress. At the end, they all decide to ally together. They all get on their ships, and they're going to go help Aelin. Okay, so some of the nitty-gritty is one of her predictions that was right. The healers it's like one of the only things that the king fears is the healers because they are like the only ones who have the power to drive like the Vogue out of, basically perform an exorcism on people and like heal it to the point that like it's completely gone, not just like forcefully but like heal it, which is also why Maeve hoards healers in her land, because that's been talked about like in the Air of Fire book, how like Maeve is always like she's always wanting to get her hands on healers, which is why I think she wanted Aelin, who has like a touch of that healing power from like somebody in her. She wanted to know how much. Aelin talks about it in one of the books that like she wasn't that she wanted to know how much like healing power that she had in her.
I do remember that, but I don't remember Maeve hoarding healers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and then actually one of the biggest revelations that comes from this book is that Maeve is actually Vogue. She's not Fae.
Wait a second. Didn't I say?
I think you might have in one of the books.
I did say this. I am a mother flipping genius. I'm not, but I said that. I wish I don't remember what episode because we'd clip it now, but just take my word for it. Because I do remember that.
And you find all about this on the adventure that Nesrin has with the Crown Prince. They go to see the Stygian spiders, who are also part Vogue, and the spiders tell her the story of how there were the 3 powerful Dark Kings, which is why there's 3 keys, and how they all fell in love with the Dark Queen, Maeve. And
wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. I did not realize Maeve was Vogue. I'm mixing up Maeve with Manon.
Oh, okay.
I mixed up the 2 characters. So Maeve is the one who hoards the healers.
Mm-hmm.
I think I vaguely remember that now. Run that back. Start over. Run it back for the slow people. Start over the section, dude.
Okay. So basically, everyone thinks that Maeve is a Fae queen.
Mm-hmm.
That she's one of the 3 original Fae queens. And that they're all related. So she's not related to Rowan. Yeah, I'll make you happy. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really her.
There's no incest.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd have to run back that kind of. So, okay. So there's like the 3 like Val Kings, only one of which is alive right now, who's like the big bad of the entire story. The guy starts with an E, Erwin or whatever his name is. And everyone thinks Maeve is just the powerful Fae queen, not Vogue, because Fae existed in our world, but the Vogue are from like another dimension that came through the word key portals. That's why you use the keys. But as like the spiders explained to Nesrin, Maeve was one of the original Vogues, and all 3 Vogue Kings were in love with her, and they found a way to use the word keys to come into like the world like that Aelin lives in. And the spiders came with her. That's where the Stygian spiders came. So they came from the Vogue land. And that Maeve found the 2 original Fae queens, and she brainwashed them into thinking that she was their sister. And like kind of like brainwashed the whole world into thinking that she was Fae. Because I think she was trying to like escape the kings.
Oh, she didn't want to stay. She does. Oh, so she doesn't love the kings back.
No. Yeah, and so the kings came after her and they didn't recognize her, and she defeated two of them, took their keys, and she wasn't able to defeat the third one, which is why he's still alive and he's a big bad of the
So
story.
she's not trying to open back up the thing. She wants it to stay shut.
You'll find out more of her intentions in the next book.
Okay.
Like there's like a whole scene where she talks about what her plan is and what she's trying to do, and like
So she's like a Valka queen who's not really evil.
no, she is evil.
Okay, cool.
She's evil. She just wants that. She doesn't want to share power.
Okay.
She wants to be the one to take over and rule. And that's why she's always and that's why she also fears the fire like all the Volk do, which is why she made that's why she made her kingdom a stone and covered in water. And that's why she's always taking really great precautions like against the Volk. Like against the other king, because she's worried about him. All right, yeah.
Oh, and that's why she didn't come to save the continent.
Yeah.
Because that's the very king she's trying to escape.
Yeah.
Why do they love her so much? Do we
brainwashing?
The kings?
The kings. No, I don't know. I think maybe you do in the next book. Okay, and so yeah, and then they meet Lysandra's uncle, who had traded away his life, like years of his life, in order to get spider silk from the spiders. But he's looking for Lysandra because he wants to leave his entire fortune to her. See, a long lost uncle she didn't know about that came out of the word of consent, wants to leave his entire fortune to her.
I think I vaguely remember the spider silk mentioning the guy who traded his life.
Maybe
in book.
When Manon goes searching for them?
I think I vaguely remember that. Nice way to tie it in.
Then
My mind is blown. I was very wrong. I did not predict anything about Maeve.
So the youngest daughter of the Kagan was possessed by a Vol demon, and she killed the younger sister.
Wait, the what?
There's still a princess that's alive, right?
The third one. Oh, she's possessed?
So, Duva?
Yes.
She's possessed, and she killed her sister.
Duva is the one who's pregnant.
Yes.
With the husband.
Yes.
I didn't trust the husband.
No, it's her
that I shouldn't trust.
Yes. She was the one who was possessed who killed the sister. And that the king, because of the whole magic, the healers, like the king, the big bad guy, Erwin, whatever, he wants the healers and he wants Irene. Like she's trying to kidnap Irene to take her back. Blah, blah.
So who was following Irene that day in the library?
Her, I think.
It was the Dova, the princess?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then, okay, so then Kale gets fully healed, right? He gets fully healed, and she's like, that's it, you're going to be completely healed, like, you're going to be perfectly fine, no lasting complications ever for the rest of your life. It's like it never happened again. But then when they have this whole big confrontation with the lady who's the pregnant Duva or whatever, she blasts Kale again, and so all the work is gone again.
He's paralyzed again?
Yeah, and she's able to heal him a little bit, but not completely. Like, he'll never be able to, like, fully walk again. Kind of like he can stand for short periods of time, but then he has... Oh, no. Then she does some magic that, like, ties them together type thing. So he can only walk when she's, like, secretly feeding him, like, magic. Like, to help, like, a magic brace. So, like, if she's exhausted, he won't be able to walk. So he's only able to walk as long as she's at full strength. Yeah, see.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh yeah, okay. So here I'm reading like a recap. So Irene, when her power's at the fullest, she can use it to make a magical brace for his legs. But when her power isn't full, he'll have to use a cane or maybe even actually a wheelchair. And she bounds his life to her, so if she dies, he dies.
What in the world?
Yeah.
Literally, he got it back just for it to just be taken away.
Yep.
How did he cope with it this time? Because he didn't cope with it well the first time.
Fine, because I think they're already married by then, and she's like, "I'll help you. Like, I'll use my power as a brace, whatever." And he got blasted trying to save her.
Okay.
So it's kind of like one of those, like, the bullet was going to hit her, and he jumped in front.
Yeah.
Type thing, you know?
Okay.
And so then they're able to convince. So Irene's able to heal the pregnant lady, And then she's able to convince her dad, like the Kagan, being like, look, he possessed me. If we don't do something, like he could possess all of us. Like it's a big threat to the world. Like put aside your differences and let's join forces. So, yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because Irene saved the princess. Then like the king says, "Oh, I'll give you anything for saving her life." So she's like, "Yeah, help them."
So wait, she saved Duva because she took the demon out of Duva.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I understand now.
Yep.
So did the new prince, have to kill anybody, any of his siblings? How does that play out?
So nothing. The king just names him. You just find out. So he goes up to Nesrin and says, "Oh, my dad. That he told his dad, I want to go with Nesrin. I love Nesrin. Like I'm gonna follow her into battle. Like I'm gonna go and help her with Aelin." And I guess his dad was impressed. Like, "Oh, you're gonna follow the one you love. You know, you're just the man I need. You're heir."
I thought okay. Anything else? Like.
No, honestly, the biggest thing is that Maeve is Valg. Like, that's, like, the biggest reveal in the book.
I feel like that could have also just been in a chapter in the other book. This book could be in 3 chapters.
Yeah, because, I mean, the way they find out is just, like, the spider is telling Nesrin the story, but, like, it could have come across somehow, like,
They could have had Manon go back to the spiders.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so many questions, but then I don't want to, like, do I finish this book now? I don't know what to do.
See, all of this is just setting up the whole Maeve reveal because, like, they find some drawings and Irene's like, "Oh, but, like, it depicts other kings. Like, I didn't know there was other kings all kings except for Erwin." And then everyone's like, "So who are the other 2 kings? Like, what happened to them?" And then you find out, oh, yeah, there were 3, which is why there's 3 kings. And and all 3 of them were in love with Maeve. But she killed 2 of them and wasn't able to kill the other one. And she was like, escaped into this world and he followed her. You know, and she's been trying to run from him.
So is he like trying to exact revenge, or is he still in love with her?
He's still in love with her. You'll see that in the next book.
So the other 2 kings are actually dead.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were. I thought they were banished or something.
She defeated the two of them.
It's actually blown. Sarah J. Maas, I take it back. I still didn't enjoy the book, but the reveal that I didn't read sounds phenomenal. My mind is blown. It does make sense why Maeve has always been the Dark Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like the spiders talk about how they're awaiting the return of the Queen of the Valg. And that she's Maeve.
Okay, now I feel like I have to read the last book.
The 13 girl
ASAP.
before she appeared.
I don't think I'll have any problems. The last book is good, right?
Oh, so Maeve had married the oldest. So Maeve had married. Yes, I love the last book. Maeve had married one of the kings.
She had?
Yeah.
Or the
no, called Orcus. He was the oldest of the kings.
I mean, she killed him?
Yeah.
Maybe what I'll do is I'll find a page where the reveal is on and read it.
Chapter 49.
I'm actually intrigued, you know.
Or, okay, she didn't kill them. She sent them back and sealed them back in their world. And then, yeah, read it. Because then, remember in the other books, remember she has that ring that, like, stops you from whatever. And Aelin thought that Maeve wanted it because it was a ring from her beloved, Brannon.
Yeah. She
thought they were in love. But no, Brannon knew that she was Valg. And that ring was his protection against her. Because it stops, whatever. And so he was trying to keep it away from her. They were never in love. Like, she feared him and he feared her. But she wanted the ring because it's one of the only protections against, like, the Valg power.
So, can she put demons into people too? Will I find that out in the next book?
That's a good question. I think she can. I just don't think she's bothered to.
Okay. All right.
You'll get, like, there's, like, without spoiling anything, there is a chapter in the next book where you hear both Maeve's plan and Erwin's plans, and their plans, like, if it's together, and it's, like there's a...
Okay.
They'll get more in that in the next book. So, if you want to read that chapter, it's chapter 49, where they talk about, like, Maeve and...
Okay, I just didn't see it coming. Wow.
They're eventually gonna have to relieve it. They're gonna have to, like, reveal it again in the next book because, like, nobody else knows except for Nesrin and Kale. and Irene.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like it'll be revealed again in the next book because Aelin has to find like other people have to find out too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skim the rest of this. I'm just gonna skip it. I'm only gonna read the parts that I'm intrigued by, which is Maeve being Valg.
If you want,
I
let me
want to
send.
see when she finally heals him.
Yeah, if you want, I'll send you this. Like they break it down by chapter. Like this is what happens in chapter 50. This is what happened in chapter 51.
We should probably link it too in the description. Well, it's not our link. Give them some credit though.
Yeah, it's hold on, let me go to the top of the page. Reviews from a bookworm.
You saved us this week because it's been 6 weeks since we began to read this book. And we can normally finish one of these. Well, she can finish one of
overnight
these in a day. I can finish one of these, I want to say. Actually, no, you can finish one of these in overnight. I can finish one of these in a day.
Yeah, just for this one, like I just haven't been in the mood. I've always been busy, and it's just because I've already read it and I know most of what happens. I'm just like not interested in it anymore.
That's fair. That's 110.
But I just want to get to Kingdom of Ash because I love Kingdom of Ash.
I'm excited for it. I will buy it. Probably not today, but I'll buy it tomorrow, and I'll read it during this week.
I'm so excited for that one. One of my favorites.
I was right about some things, wrong about others, as per usual. This was we didn't rate this book. Well, I rate the first half of the book.
I'll go to 3 out of 5.
First half, 2 out of 5. Actually, 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5 because I enjoyed the first book more than I enjoyed this one. And the first book was, I think I gave it a 1.
Yeah.
I can't rate this higher. But if I were to take into account the reveal of Maeve being Valg and whatnot, second half and all of that stuff, then I would bump it up to a 2 out of 5. 2.5. Yeah, that's it. Because this was just hard to read. And we inhale books.
Yeah.
So that was hard.
No, the only things that were really important was that major reveal and the reveal that it's the healers who have the power to defeat. And that, yeah, that it was Aelin who saved her life. And so now what's her name wants to repay her.
She could have literally just like wrote a chapter where, hear me out. Write a chapter in 3 chapters in, what was the name of the other book? I'm blanking right now.
Empire Storms or Kingdom of Ash? Yeah, she could have, because also all the stuff that, like I said, all the stuff that's revealed in here has to be revealed again in the next book to the other characters.
She could have literally just wrote it as they went to the land. Irene and Carol frankly didn't need to have these love stories.
Yeah, because that's what it is about, like, you know, like him. It's kind of like, yeah, like him come to grips with whatever, and like him and Nestor's relationship where he's like, oh no, like sorry, yeah, like you deserve better, and she's like, okay, yeah, I do, I'm gonna be Empress, you know, bye. So
that's like the best comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like
that also means he has to get a new captain of the guard.
Dang, Doran can't keep one. Shit.
Yeah. Also, a lot of people are upset, and I've seen people make reels about it. They're like, Dorian is Kale's best friend, so how could Kale get married without him there?
That is such
like his best man. Like he didn't have a best man or anything.
Wow. And this was like before they returned?
Yeah, he got at the end of this when they get married. And it's like very briefly too. Like it's not even a big thing. It's just, hey, we're married now. Okay.
Yeah, she could have just wrote this in 3 chapters where she just had Irene and Kale go to the southern continent, show that the mom was like something to buy Valg, have them save her with Irene's help, discover the healers in the book, whatever chapter, still keep that scene, and then have Irene go with one of the prince on some adventure and go speak to the spider silkworms. We find out about Maeve, and that's it. That would have literally been it. We didn't need anything else. Oh well. I've never written a book, so what can I tell you, Sarah J. Maas? You know what I think? I think there was a word limit she had to meet, or a book limit. She had to pump out how many books? 8 books?
7 or 8, yeah.
I feel like she had like a contract, like she had to pump out 7 or 8 books. And her editor was like, we're going to make a book about Kale. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
What are you reading?
Just the very end. And they were just talking about how, yeah, Ayla now sails north to Tesserin, and Ormada with her, the witches as well. And Kale's like, oh, that could just be the 13 men in Black Beaks Coven. And Nesrin's like, yeah, I bet anything on it. That it's, that they're all together.
Anyways, let me stop talking shit. Thank you to Sarah J. Maas. I've enjoyed all of the books except this one, and I will enjoy the next one. Thank you. Any thoughts?
No.
You look like you're about to discover something and share it. So that's why I keep delaying.
I don't think, but no. This is just, I'm reading now the part where he's come to her, the prince, and he's like, I've been made heir. Oh yeah, because this is a guy. He's like, I told him if that's what it took to be chosen as heir, I didn't want it, and I walked out. Because at first he was that the king was the Kagan, whatever, was like, oh, you can't. She's common born.
Oh.
The heir needs to marry a princess, and that the guy was like, well, too bad, I'm out then if I can't marry her. And so then the guy changed his mind and said, you're heir. She can be your empress. Okay, sorry. This is what I was looking for. Like their wedding is just literally 2 sentences. He just comes up to her and says, oh, you're Lady Westfall. And then she's like, oh yeah, by the way, we got married 2 weeks ago. 2.5 weeks ago.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, the ceremony had been small. They say...
What are they talking to?
They're talking, this is from her point of view, and just Kale comes up to her, and he's like, how else am I going to amuse myself during long hours other than teasing you, Lady Westfall? And then she snorts. She's like, as she always did at the title. But Kale had never heard anything finer other than the vows that they had spoken in the temple 2.5 weeks ago. The ceremony had been small. There was a small feast afterwards, and that was it. And then it moves on. So it's just literally like 2 sentences. And then she's like, yeah, I can't believe now I'm Irene Westfall. And her ring or whatever. And then, yeah, this is the very word. She finally shows him the note, and he realizes that it's Aelin. And then he realizes, when he's like, oh, it would have been when she was on the way to the Red Desert to train with the Silent Assassins. But he doesn't, and then he starts crying. And then he's like, a gift from the queen who had seen another woman in hell and thought to reach back a hand with no thought of it ever being returned, a moment of kindness, a tug on the thread. And even Aelin could not have known that in saving a barmaid from those mercenaries and teaching her to defend herself and giving her that golden note, even Aelin could not have known or dreamed or guessed how that moment of kindness would be answered. Not just a healer blessed by Syllaba, but capable of wiping the Valg away. And by the 300 healers who had come with her. Because she's taking the healers from the tower.
Oh, shit. They're really summoning an army right now.
Yep.
Okay, I'll skim the rest of it.
Okay.
That would be all. Alright, well, that was it. Thank you for joining us this week. Sorry for spark notes and finding but we did our best. We tried. That's it? No thoughts? No questions? Alright, well, thank you. Bye. You ain't gotta stay here, but you gotta go. Get off YouTube.
Go do something productive.
Go touch grass. Or watch another one of our videos. But then go touch grass.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Right, yes. Like, comment, subscribe.